China has deep history and culture that has been evolving over thousands of years in many dynasties. We're going to take a deeper look into some of these dynasties and their many forms of art, including architecture, ceramics, calligraphy, metalwork, and paintings.
To start off, we have the Shang Dynasty, which is the first dynasty of traditional China. According to ushistory.org, the stability of the country during the Shang Dynasty led to numerous cultural advances, such as industrialized bronze casting, the calendar, religion, rituals, and writing. Bronze vessels for drinking were used in ritual ceremonies, and bronze chariots and axes were made for battle. Metal was associated with royalty, which led to having the tombs of Shang kings filled with bronze objects. Ancient Chinese priests commonly used tortoise shells and cattle bones to answer the questions of the future within the society. Folk religion during the Shang Dynasty was polytheistic, meaning the people worshipped many gods.
The Qin Dynasty was one of the shortest dynasties, only lasting 15 years. However, it was one of the strongest dynasties in the First Imperial Dynasty, meaning it led with a strong military force. This imperial leadership had a large impact on the art and architecture that the Qin are known for. One of these things is the Great Wall of China. According to the article Architecture of the Qin Dynasty found on Boundless.com, they did not build the whole wall, but rather connected previous segments of the wall to create one Great Wall to protect from the Mongols of the north. The Great Wall was a sign of imperial power and control. Despite the Great Wall of China being one of the most famous structures in the world, one of the Qin's greatest creations was the mausoleum of the first Qin emperor. Qin Shi Huang was a strong leader who conquered a lot in his life, and he had no intentions of letting his conquest end in the afterlife. He was laid to rest in a tomb that is yet to be opened. Ancient writings say that the tomb contains a scale replica of his whole empire with rivers of mercury and a ceiling filled with jewels to resemble the stars. However, in the article Terracotta Warriors from the Mausoleum found on Khan Academy, the most interesting part is the life-size terracotta army, including warriors, infantrymen, horses, chariots, and all their attendant armor and weaponry that was unearthed around the tomb. This clay-based ceramic army was built to protect the emperor and his conquest into the afterlife. This funerary art remains one of the biggest mysteries of ancient China to this day.
According to the website Chinese Online Museum, art from the Yuan Dynasty was scroll paintings and calligraphy. Art from this time period was based on self-expression, learning, and tradition. This is part of Dwelling in the Funshan Mountains, painted by Hong Gong Wang, where at one point lost by the painter Shen Zhao when he was trying to get it inscribed but later recovered it. Zhao had made a copy of the original and gave it to a friend who found the original being sold for a very high price. This is the full first scroll of Dwelling in the Funshan Mountains. Hong Gong Wang, Wu Zhen, Ni Zan, and Wang Meng are all known as the four masters of the Yuan Dynasty for their great paintings during that time frame. This is the second scroll of Dwelling in the Funshan Mountains by Hong Gong Wang. Him and the other four masters were known for being experts at a form of traditional painting known as literati painting. Literati painting focuses on the artist's self-expression and learning. This is Fisherman by Wu Zhen, who is known for his bamboo paintings of landscapes and being inspired by Dong Yuan and Jiran.
The Ming Dynasty was a Chinese dynasty that lasted from 1368 to 1644, which provided an interval of native Chinese rule between eras of Mongol and Manchu dominance. This succession became one of the stablest yet most autocratic of all Chinese dynasties, where its founder, Hong Wu, held absolute power. The rulers of China wanted to instill patriotism upon its citizens and strengthen this country's identity by producing a unified type of art. According to visualartscourt.com, architecture was one of China's first focuses when it came to the visual arts. Big projects such as the construction of the Chinese Imperial Palace, called the Forbidden City in Beijing, and Nanjing's Porcelain Tower were built by thousands of laborers and craftsmen in the 1400s. As stated by Khan Academy, the Forbidden City was a political and ritual center which housed over 20 emperors, their families, and servants. It has over 90 palace compounds, including 98 buildings, and is surrounded by a moat. Its structure reflected a sense of hierarchy where architects designed the layout based on the cosmic social order and Confucian ideology. The Porcelain Tower of Nanjing was a 9-story temple made of white porcelain brick which was built as a place of worship for Buddhists. The porcelain bricks were then decorated with images of flowers, landscapes, and animals. When it came to paintings, the most popular type was landscape paintings, along with floral and bird elements. Another popular type of painting was narrative figure painting, which was often used to praise new Ming rulers. However, the Ming Dynasty was best known for its ceramics, who used cobalt blue and white porcelain to create their pots and sculptures. The Ming's designs consisted of dragons, Chinese patterns, and floral scrolls. They used glazes that made the white porcelain more translucent and the overall design glossier.
The Qing Dynasty was the last of the Chinese dynasties. It lasted 268 years before coming to an end and becoming the People's Republic of China. When Manchu rulers from a northern region between Mongolia and Russia took over during the Qing Dynasty, they attempted to assimilate the Chinese into more Western imperial forces like the Europeans. This is why the traditional ornamentation of the arts declined during this period, and repetitive design grew in popularity. Techniques like jade carving, painting, and porcelain became the most common forms of visual arts in this period and also increased significantly due to assimilation. According to Hearn's article, The Qing Dynasty, found on the Met website, personal expression became valued over realism. Chinese art became centralized around the artist's internal feelings versus what they could draw by mimicking the external world. Innovative designs and creativity flourished in this time period. According to Hearn's article, The Grandeur of Art During the Qin, found on Learn Columbia's website, the Chinese viewed European artistic style at this time as comical and not insightful at all. There were also social conflicts because China refused to trade with Europe. The two even disputed on how to represent space and depth of a 3D image on a 2D canvas. China ended up adopting the European idea of how to represent space and depth. Despite the conservative Confucian views of this time, the Qin artists were very avant-garde and innovative. Respect for their tradition and their ruler were no longer important. According to Alpha History, the internal unrest and rebellion is what led to the dynasty's central power weakening and the final dynasty dying off. Having an infant ruler, Puyi, did not help.
These were only just a few dynasties in China's deep history. They created a strong foundation for many generations to build upon, and their many different forms of art and culture continue to inspire and influence modern-day society.